Hey everyone, it's Ava again, and today we are looking at Manchester United against Leeds. But we are also going to get into two debates that are generating a lot of conversation in the United fan base right now. Whether things are actually getting better at this club, and whether players should have a say in who the next manager is. A lot to get through, so let's just get into it. Starting with Leeds. This is a game Manchester United should win, and should win comfortably. Leeds have not won in their last 6 matches. They are only a few points above the relegation zone, and they are genuinely in danger of going down, depending on what other results around them look like by the time Monday comes around. West Ham, Forest, and Spurs are all playing before this game, and if 2 of those sides pick up wins, Leeds could find themselves right in the thick of a relegation battle going into Old Trafford. That adds pressure on them, and it removes pressure from United. From a purely statistical standpoint, the case for United is straightforward. United are third in the home table, with 10 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses at Old Trafford. Leeds away from home have won just 1 game all season. They have drawn 7 and lost 7 on the road. Only Wolves have scored fewer away goals than Leeds this season, who have managed just 15. United are averaging just under 2 goals per game at home across the season, with 30 goals in 15 home games. On paper, this matchup heavily favors United, and there is not much of an argument against that. Now, in terms of the lineup, the main issue is the same one that has been there for a while. The midfield of Casemiro, Mainu, and Bruno is essentially picking itself every week. It is worth pointing out that this is fundamentally the same midfield Ten Hag was using. Beyond those 3, the options drop off significantly, and Agata coming in has not changed that picture. The one benefit of not being in European football this season is that these players are staying fit and available. Other clubs competing in Europe are dealing with tired legs and injuries in key areas. United have largely avoided that. That is not luck. It is simply the reality of having fewer games to play. The injury concerns coming into this one are De Ligt, Dalot, and Martinez. None of those 3 are expected to start. Martinez may potentially be involved from the bench after returning to training in Dublin, but starting him would be a surprise. Mazraoui would be the preferred option at right back over Dalot in terms of quality. The bigger selection conversation is about Sesko and what is happening up front. Every time Sesko has come off the bench this season, he has made a direct impact. The equalizer against West Ham in the final minute, the winner against Fulham, the winner against Everton when it looked like a draw. 3 decisive contributions from the bench off the top of the head, and likely more beyond that. The argument is simple. If Sesko keeps delivering those moments as a substitute, he should be starting. En-Nesyri up front has not been convincing, and Amrabat on the wing has not worked either. The interesting point about En-Nesyri is that he was signed for £65 million, the biggest signing under Ineos, and he was bought specifically because of how he performed in a 3-4-3 with 2 number 10s coming from wide areas. He was not bought to be a center forward. So the logical thing to try, given that Amrabat on the wing has not produced results, would be to move En-Nesyri out wide, where he was actually bought to play, start Sesko through the middle, and bench Amrabat for now. That is not a criticism of Amrabat as a player. It is just about what the team needs at this point in the season. Sesko should be starting, and Leeds at home is a reasonable game to do that in. Moving on to the question about whether things are getting better at United. The honest answer is that nothing has materially changed over the international break. No advanced talks with summer signings have been reported. No manager interviews have taken place. Carrick has not been officially given the job. From a football and business perspective, the club has been quiet. The reason some people feel things are changing is more to do with the fact that United have not played in over 3 weeks. When there is no game to react to, there is less negative content circulating, and that can create a perception of calm. But calm and progress are not the same thing. Looking at the last 4 Premier League games before the break, honestly, they were not good. Against Palace, United were fortunate that Palace had a man sent off. Against Villa, the result was positive, but Villa were tired, having played just a few days earlier, and it was a Bruno moment of individual quality that decided it rather than a team performance. Newcastle was a poor display, and Bournemouth at home, which should have been a comfortable 3 points, ended in a draw. That is the actual picture of recent form. The situation right now is that everything is essentially on hold, waiting for the summer. The Champions League qualification picture will determine the scale of transfer activity. If United qualify, the targets and the budget will look different to if they do not. That is why the club appears to be in a holding pattern. They are not moving in the wrong direction necessarily, but they are not moving forward either. They are waiting to see what the final league position is before committing to anything significant. The summer will be the real indicator of where this club is heading. Getting into the Champions League is the baseline requirement this season. What happens after that is what actually matters. On the player power debate, the reaction to reports that players will have a significant say in who the next manager is has been mixed. But the straightforward analysis of it is this: it should not work that way. A player backing the current manager publicly is not useful information. Of course, a player in the starting 11 is going to speak positively about the man who is picking them. The players who are not getting game time are unlikely to be saying the same things publicly. And more to the point, the board's job is to identify the best possible manager for the club going forward. If a genuinely elite candidate is available and interested, the opinion of current players should not be a deciding factor. The broader concern here is that there seems to be a gradual drift back towards a player-first culture at the club. Carrick has spoken about giving players extra time off during the international break. Training is reportedly lighter. Players are being given more flexibility. That might be fine for now, given the low volume of games, but it sets an expectation that will be difficult to manage next season, when the schedule is heavier and the demands are greater. One of the things Ineos and Amorim were attempting was to establish a more structured, disciplined environment, where the football operations side ran things and players were focused purely on performing. The current direction feels like a step back from that. The priority for the rest of this season is clear: win the remaining games that are winnable, get to 64 points or thereabouts, secure Champions League football, and then let the summer define what kind of club Manchester United are actually trying to be. Against Leeds on Monday, United should win. 3-0 is a reasonable prediction, given the home record, Leeds' away form, and the fact that United have had a proper rest. Just get the 3 points, keep the momentum going into the final few games, and worry about the bigger questions once the season is done. That is it from me today. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe if you are not already on the channel, and I will see you in the next one.